Welcome to Hashnagar Digital. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates tonight. America stands at a crossroads, facing a pivotal moment in its long and complicated relationship with firearms. The nation's identity, history, and future are all being shaped by a new wave of legislation and public debate. In a sweeping transformation, 36 states have now eliminated the requirement for citizens to obtain a permit to carry a concealed handgun in public. This means that for the majority of Americans, carrying a concealed weapon is now as simple as carrying a wallet or a set of keys. This movement, known as constitutional carry, represents one of the most dramatic and controversial shifts in American gun law in decades. Supporters argue it restores fundamental freedoms, while critics warn of unintended consequences and increased risks. The debate now stretches from rural towns, where gun ownership is a way of life, to major cities grappling with gun violence. It raises urgent questions about personal liberty, public safety, and the very meaning of the Second Amendment in today's America. International observers watch closely, puzzled and concerned about what this means for American society and its global image. The world wonders how these changes will affect not just crime rates, but the fabric of American life itself. Not long ago, permitless carry was a rarity, confined to only a handful of states. Now, it's the law in most of the country, fueled by recent court decisions, shifting public opinion, and deepening political divides that show no sign of healing. For some Americans, this is a long overdue restoration of rights and a reaffirmation of constitutional principles. For others, it's a dangerous unraveling of public safety measures, sparking fear and uncertainty about what lies ahead. With a federal bill now on the table that could force all states to recognize permitless carry, the stakes have never been higher. Lawmakers, activists, and citizens alike are bracing for a battle that could redefine the nation's approach to guns for generations. To truly understand this moment, we must look back at the path that brought us here, examine the forces shaping today's debate, and consider what the future may hold for gun rights, and for America itself. The idea of carrying a concealed firearm without a permit isn't new. In fact, debates over who should be allowed to carry weapons and under what circumstances have been part of American life since the country's earliest days. From the Wild West to the urban centers of the 20th century, the question of concealed carry has always sparked passionate arguments about personal freedom, public safety, and the limits of government authority. But its path to mainstream acceptance has been slow and contentious. For decades, the idea of permitless carry was seen as radical, even dangerous, by many lawmakers and citizens alike. Heated protests and legislative battles have shaped the conversation, with both sides fiercely defending their vision of American rights. For much of U.S. history, states set their own rules, usually requiring permits, background checks, and training. These regulations were designed to balance the right to bear arms with concerns about public safety, and they varied widely from state to state. Vermont was the lone outlier, never requiring a permit, and quietly maintaining its own tradition of constitutional carry for over a century, even as the rest of the nation moved in a different direction. But Alaska and Arizona eventually followed, breaking ranks with the majority and setting the stage for a broader movement. Their decisions signaled a shift in the national conversation, inspiring activists and lawmakers in other states to reconsider their own laws. The movement gained momentum after the 2022 Supreme Court decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, which struck down strict permitting rules and affirmed the right to carry a handgun for self-defense outside the home. This landmark ruling was a turning point, reshaping the legal landscape and emboldening advocates of constitutional carry. This ruling accelerated legislative change, with lawmakers feeling emboldened to push for permitless carry. State legislatures across the country began introducing bills, and the pace of reform quickened as supporters argued that the Supreme Court had validated their cause. By early 2024, 29 states had adopted constitutional carry, marking a dramatic shift in national policy. The movement, once limited to a handful of states, was now sweeping across the country, and the number quickly grew to 36 by January 2026, as more states joined the trend and public opinion continued to evolve. What began as a fringe idea is now the dominant policy, fundamentally altering the nation's approach to gun rights. The rapid expansion of permitless carry has changed the way Americans think about self-defense, personal responsibility, and the role of government in regulating firearms. The stage is set for a new era in American gun law, one where the balance between individual liberty and collective security will continue to be debated for years to come. The start of 2026 saw 7 more states adopt constitutional carry, cementing permitless carry as the majority policy in America. These states, diverse in geography and politics, reflect the broad appeal of the movement among conservatives and libertarians. Now, 36 states allow eligible adults to carry concealed handguns without a permit, background check, or mandatory training. Supporters call it a victory for freedom and self-defense, while critics warn it's a reckless move that endangers public safety. The focus now shifts to federal legislation, with the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act aiming to make permitless carry the national standard. Critics argue this is a dangerous race to the bottom, while supporters see it as the restoration of a fundamental right. The nation is bracing for a major political and social showdown. Constitutional carry is a term used to describe laws that allow anyone who can legally own a firearm to carry it, either openly or concealed, in most public places, without the need for a government-issued permit, mandatory training, or an additional background check beyond what's required to purchase the gun. This means that as long as you are not prohibited from owning a firearm, you can carry it with you, whether for personal protection or other lawful purposes, without jumping through extra legal hoops. The core idea behind constitutional carry is that the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is all the permission a law-abiding citizen should need to bear arms. Supporters believe that requiring permits or extra steps infringes on a fundamental right guaranteed by the nation's founders. In the past, most states required gun owners to apply for permits, undergo background checks, and complete safety training courses before carrying a firearm in public. Some states even gave local officials broad discretion to deny permits, sometimes for reasons that weren't always clear or consistent. Constitutional carry laws eliminate these permitting systems, removing the government's role as gatekeeper and shifting the responsibility directly to the individual gun owner. Proponents argue that this approach levels the playing field, making self-defense more accessible to everyone, especially those who may not have the time or money to pay for permits, classes, or recurring fees. They see it as a way to empower ordinary citizens and remove barriers that disproportionately affect lower-income individuals. On the other hand, opponents warn that removing these steps also removes important safety checks, increasing the risk that untrained or irresponsible gun owners could carry firearms in public spaces. They worry this could lead to more accidents or dangerous situations. The debate over constitutional carry is intense, centering on whether these changes truly promote equity and freedom for all citizens, or if they invite greater danger and chaos into communities by making it easier for anyone to carry a gun. The practical effects of constitutional carry laws are profound, reshaping not only who can carry a gun, but also how Americans think about their rights, responsibilities, and public safety in everyday life. Supporters of constitutional carry argue that self-defense is a fundamental right, not a privilege that requires government approval. They believe permitless carry empowers law-abiding citizens and deters criminals who ignore gun laws anyway. Citing states like Maine and Vermont, they claim permitless carry does not lead to chaos or increased crime. Advocates also frame the issue as one of fairness. Permit fees and training can be prohibitive, especially for low-income individuals. Removing these barriers, they say, ensures everyone has equal access to self-defense. Supporters trust that most gun owners are responsible and see government-imposed hurdles as unnecessary and disrespectful. They argue that the right to bear arms should be as accessible as any other constitutional right. For them, constitutional carry is about restoring liberty and trusting citizens. The movement is seen as a hallmark of a free society. Opponents warn that permitless carry removes proven safeguards and puts public safety at risk. Research links weaker gun laws to higher rates of violence. Some states saw double-digit increases in violent crime after repealing permit requirements. Critics argue that mandatory training and background checks catch red flags and teach crucial skills, from safe storage to conflict de-escalation. Without these, they fear more accidents, escalated disputes, and tragic mistakes. Polls show most Americans, including gun owners, support permits and training for concealed carry. Opponents also challenge the equity argument, suggesting fee waivers for low-income applicants rather than scrapping safety systems. They warn that the communities most affected by gun violence will suffer most from increased guns on the streets. The evidence, they say, points to more guns and less regulation making everyone less safe. Law enforcement officers are on the front lines of this debate, and many major police organizations oppose permitless carry and federal reciprocity. Their concerns are practical. Without permits, officers lose a key tool for identifying potentially dangerous individuals. The lack of a vetting system means police can't easily know if someone carrying a gun has a violent history or any training. Federal reciprocity would force strict states to accept permitless carry, creating confusion and risk for officers during routine stops. Police warn this could lead to legal jeopardy for officers and lawsuits against departments. The result is a no-win situation: act and risk violating rights, or don't act and risk public safety. Law enforcement leaders say these changes undermine their ability to keep communities safe. With 36 states now permitless, the fight has moved to Congress and the proposed Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. The bill would force all states to honor the concealed carry rights of every other state, regardless of local standards. Supporters say it's about fairness. Second Amendment rights shouldn't stop at state lines. Critics argue it's not like a driver's license, since states have vastly different requirements for carrying a gun. The bill would make the weakest standards the national default, stripping states of their power to set their own rules. Its future is uncertain, facing strong opposition in the Senate and from law enforcement. The debate is about more than policy. On Dundee, it's pagpupuan de padres. Padre Sador Datansam, Tombersign Baldri. Over Bemberber federal versus state power and the future of gun regulation in America. The outcome will shape the nation's approach to guns for years to come. America stands divided. 36 states embrace permitless carry while 14 hold to permits and training. The debate is about more than guns. It's about liberty, safety, and the kind of country we want to be. Supporters see individual rights as the ultimate guarantee of safety. Opponents see collective security as the foundation of a civilized society. The looming federal fight forces every American to consider: what's the right balance between rights and safety? Should gun standards be local or national? Does more public carrying deter crime or increase risk? The answers will shape our schools, streets, and future. The story isn't finished. It's up to us to decide what comes next.